Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking, the board game world. I am coming to you. You're either watching this on the Gray Fox Games channel or at the Undead Viking Videos channel. Do me a favor before I dive into this topic. Do hit the old like, subscribe thing, and if you aren't liking and subscribing on the other channel, take the time to do that. Appreciate it. Anyway, moving on. Also, before I talk about the board games that kind of made me, I guess that's the whole thing, the games that made us or whatever. Like there's like that seems to be a theme. Um, Before I talk about that, uh, I want to know if you're watching these, and I know there's a handful of you that do. I'd love for you to leave me a comment or something, and this would be on any video of mine that you watch. Leave me a comment about something you would like me to talk about as far as in these board game centric blogs that I'm doing. I would love to hear your thoughts about things that you'd like to hear my opinions on. And if it's something I think I could nanner on for 5, 10 minutes, I will make a video on it, and then we can go from there. But anyway, moving on. So the board games that made me, as I said, so this isn't going to be about Arkham Horror. If you watch my channel, you know that Arkham Horror was the game about 10, 11, 12 years ago that I purchased on a whim because I couldn't get a normal role-playing game night together with my friends. So I said, hey, why don't I get a cool board game? We'll get together and play that. And that's what started me down the whole, spider hole or whatever that I started. Spider hole. You know what I mean? Rabbit hole. Has hit me down the rabbit hole. Must be because it's Halloween. The rabbit hole that eventually led to me like working in the hobby and whatever. But before that, if I had to have an inkling of like what types of games. Now, also before that, I've talked about the fact that I played Talisman. We played Talisman a lot too. But let's just go further back. And there were some other games that I picked up at hobby shops that look cool. Like I remember Kings and Things was something. Those old pocket box games from Steve Jackson. Those things. But let's go back even further. Just go back even further. And what were like games that really, without me knowing it, opened the door to what I'm doing now. And it comes down to two games. And those would be Axis and Allies and Survive. Now, Axis and Allies was a game that I saw in a Christmas catalog for you younger people that stumble upon this somewhere. We used to get Christmas catalogs, which were these big, thick catalogs from like J.C. Penney's and Dayton's and Sears, and they had all these different sections of things that you could purchase for Christmas and you could order them. And one of the things you could do on was there was a whole section of toys. And so as a kid, what you would do is you'd go to that and then you make your Christmas list. J.C. Penney's page 273, letter A or whatever, and then like you write down everything and then you give that to your parents in the hopes that you would get everything on your list. And of course, like as a kid, that like I was greedy and I would always have 100 things on my list or whatever. But regardless, my whole point is that's what the catalog is on what I'm referencing. And I remember what I saw was they had Axis and Allies. Now I had played Risk. Risk was something that I had played before, but this looked like, wow, check this out. This looks super cool. It's going to be Risk, but I'm going to have little tanks that I can drive around. And I got it for Christmas. And I remember I played that game a ton. The rules weren't super difficult. I mean, it was just move this stuff to here, roll the dice, see how much damage you do, take those things off the board, that sort of thing. And we played a ton of it in whenever year it came out. It either came out like towards the very end of my like 8th grade or 9th grade or 10th grade, one of those things. And I remember I played a ton of it with my friends. It was a game that we devoured and enjoyed a great deal. And now it's kind of a dated design. Obviously, it's still played a lot. I believe Renegade Games is coming out with them again. They're kind of like being revisited. And I think at their core, they're really, really good games and they're really, really fun. You rarely finished a game. I'll say that is that because it was a very long game. And especially if you were like losing, you lost interest pretty quickly with what was going on. But very fun. And I can definitely see there's like the more of the tactical games, and when you're what strategy, what's tactics. I think tactics are one of those things where you are it's more of a computation thing. To me, strategy is like, following kind of like a if I can do this, then this, then this, then this chain. And there's a distinction. Maybe that's a video I can do. What's my definition of tactics and what's my different definition of strategy? But to me, I see where they are different. Um, but sometimes you can get a little blurry, a little fuzzy between the two. And I think that kind of, but those things led me to play some of the more tactical games that I play now. I'm not a huge war gamer, but I do play some war games. And obviously there's the connection there as well. Now, the one Survive, and I might be misremembering this. I think it was a Parker Brothers game when I got it. It was in that long rectangular thin box. And I remember I saw it at like a Target or some other department store, and I remember just seeing like the sea monster and the sharks and stuff on the cover. And I remember thinking, and the volcano exploding, obviously. And I remember thinking, I gotta own that. I don't know how you play. I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about it, but I gotta own that game. And I remember I got it, and I remember being really taken with the whole process of like the kind of the rock paper scissors thing about it. The whales could smash the boats, but they wouldn't eat the people. The sharks would eat the people, but they couldn't smash the boat. And of course, the sea serpent would not only smash the boat, it would also eat all the people. I remember we do all these like things where we'd say, okay, but like, and I don't remember it was in the rules or not, but we would say if your swimmer was in the same spot as a whale, a shark couldn't enter that, and then you could slowly but surely make your way, to the center. All the while, people are like pulling the tiles, and once you got down to like the rocks, you were like trying to like not draw the one that caused the whole thing to explode. So I can definitely see with that one there's all kinds of mechanisms in Survive that are evident in the games that I enjoy now. Games with bluffing, games with sort of like negotiation slash semi cooperation, hidden tiles, hidden information, things like that. That I definitely can see the combination of what I was enjoying as far as that game was concerned, that definitely led down the path to this. And to be honest, both games I still play them. I mean, not I mean it's a once a year type of thing, but I definitely do crank out both games at some point. To Survive, I play with my kids, and I played it at conventions. Just somebody busts it out and you're like, yeah, sure, why not? The one thing that's kind of stinks about Survive, and I hope I'm not breaking this for you, is that usually unless people are really good at the game, like you just get yourself in other people's boats that like, if they're going to control a boat or get onto a boat with other people that is on there, and then they will like try to save that boat as much as possible, and then if you can make sure your people get saved too. So that's where that semi co-op thing works. But you know where I'm going with this. It's a fun game. It is. And then with Axis and Allies, I have a friend that it's just one of those things that once a year we get together and we spend a Saturday and we play and we enjoy ourselves. And that's saying something, right? That like games that are that old like still hit a table. That's a good investment in my opinion. Investments in games. That's another thing I could talk about. But anyway, regardless, those are like the games that made me, and those are the reasons why I can see why I can say they made me. What's a game that made you? What's a game that you played when you were young that you still play today? Leave in the comments below. Love to hear that. Well, until next time, until the next board game musing, this is me, Undead Viking, Lance Meister, signing off, telling you, have a great day.